Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out today. And a huge thank you to anyone who woke up at the butt crack of dawn to wait in line. It is so cool to see so many people in here. I mean, if I had to do a quick count, I would say that I think I just saw number 1,152 just walk in the door. Wow, 1,500 people fit in this theater. I feel like 1,500's worth some boomsticking, don't you? Yes! Yes! What's even crazier is that there are currently tens of thousands of fans watching this theater live around the globe, broadcasting everywhere via Char, the magic of the interwebs. In theater audience, meet the internet. Internet, allow me to introduce you to the fans here in San Antonio. Sure, you will get along just fine. All right, save it. We got to save it for later. My name is Jennifer Hale. And while my face may not be that familiar to many of you, some of you might recognize my voice just a teeny bit. I am Jenna, Queen of Kryta, Regent of Ascalon, Crusher of the Ogre Revolt. I have proudly been the voice of Queen Jenna since Guild Wars 2 launched in 2012. And time flies because it's 2015, and some changes are afoot. Since ArenaNet asked me to play host for this lovely event, I have been receiving some very cryptically worded emails using the code name HOT. First I thought it was spam. I mean, all these emails with the subject line HOT. But alas, we all know what HOT stands for now. Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns! What is it? What is it, you may ask? I'm not telling you, but we do have some very, very special guests here who will spill the beans in just a few minutes. And when those special guests do arrive, I expect all of you to greet them with the mighty roar of a boomstick orchestra. Now, we should probably rehearse that a couple of times, don't you think? Let's hear it. That's all right. You can do better. Come on. Let's hear it! Woo! That was very impressive. Now that you know your responsibilities for the morning, sit back, relax, and take a few moments to soak in the ambiance. It is about that time. Ready those boomsticks, but no noise yet. We need silence for dramatic effect. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a loud, out of control, and absolutely ape-shit welcome to the president and founder of ArenaNet, Mike
Hello, well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, and thank you, Jennifer, our Queen Jenna. Yeah. We have such an exciting day today. Before we're done here, I hope that we will have made this a memorable day, not only for Guild Wars 2 fans, but for fans of MMOs everywhere. That's because today, I can finally tell you what we've been working on and where we're taking Guild Wars 2 next. Yeah. All right. You know how much is going on in the game, right? So, the Hub City Lion's Arch, it still lies in ruins. And thanks to our old friend Scarlet and her experiments with magical ley line energy, the elder dragon Mordramoth has awakened. Yes. Mordramoth has already corrupted much of the Sylvari race, and it just destroyed the Pact fleet containing many of the heroes of Destiny's Edge. Mordramoth's power is growing, its corruption is spreading, but we know where we can find the dragon, deep in the heart of the Maguma jungle, and that's where we're going next. Yeah. "11 days ago, at the cliffhanger ending for the season finale, Point of No Return, we hit you with a mysterious trailer and with the words, Heart of Thorns. And since then, you've been guessing, what does it all mean? What does it all mean? It's been a fun 11 days. All right, well, you know what? I think a lot of you nailed it. But the moment of truth is here. Yes. Yes. It's the moment of truth. Do you want to see for yourselves what Heart of Thorns means? It's time. I give you Heart of Thorns.
The journey of the hero is filled with trials. Trials of courage, trials of loss, trials of war. Each forging the hero in the fires of resolve, wisdom, and strength, propelling them into the unknown. This journey never ends. The hero's journey is to become legend.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you just saw was the world premiere of the first expansion pack for Guild Wars 2. That's right, we're here today to talk about an expansion pack. And before we're done on the stage, we will tell you about every major feature in that expansion pack. You know, a lot of you have been on this journey with us for a while. Maybe since the launch of Guild Wars 2. Maybe before that. Yeah. Maybe going back to the manifesto video from 2010, where we laid down the core values that we would build Guild Wars 2 on. And I want to go back there today as we talk about why it's so important that Heart of Thorns is the first expansion pack for Guild Wars 2. Now, I said to you back then, right from the beginning, I said we would make Guild Wars 2 the first truly dynamic living world, a world where you and your friends experience huge world-changing events as they happen all around you, rather than just reading about them from quest givers. Yes. Now, we built that into the base game, and then we amped it up through 40 living world releases since then. And do you think we took everything we knew about building huge, world-changing events and took it to the next level for Heart of Thorns? You better believe it, because the Maguma Jungle is the most detailed and dynamic environment we've ever created. All right? Yes. I also said to you right from the beginning that we would make Guild Wars 2 the first truly social online world. A world where you, your friends, everyone around it, you're all in it together, working together, relying on each other, where you're always happy to see another player. Now, something magical happened. You, the Guild Wars 2 community, you took that one and you made it your own. Yes, and in the 2 years since the launch of Guild Wars 2, you have cemented your reputation as the single friendliest community in all of online gaming. Yes. Give yourselves a hand. You know something else we said from the beginning? We said that Guild Wars 2 would be the game where the journey is the reward. A game about the journey, and not another one of these endless gear treadmills. Now here we are, announcing the first expansion pack for Guild Wars 2. And I know when people announce an MMO expansion pack, they talk about what's the new tier of gear that we're introducing into the game. But you know what that does, right? That invalidates all the work that you put into your existing characters. That ramps up the power curve, leaving behind a wasteland of old content that's no longer challenging enough or rewarding enough to be worth playing. And is that what you want from Heart of Thorns? No! I thought you might say that. All right. But let's talk about levels, because we're here announcing an expansion pack for an MMO. And it is very normal when announcing an expansion pack for an MMO to talk about what is the new level cap in this expansion. But you know, it's really not that different, right? Your existing investment in your gear, it is level 80 gear, right? And do you want us to say to you, now it's time to go earn some new level of gear? And again, ramp up the power curve, leaving behind all that old content that's no longer challenging enough or rewarding enough to be worth playing. Is that what you want? No! You're an audience that knows what you want. All right, then I will commit to you, your max level characters with your top tier gear today are still gonna be your max level characters with your top tier gear tomorrow. The endless gear treadmill. It is such a cheap solution to a problem, but it is a solution. And I'll tell you what I do think that we owe you. I think you need new challenges that are way beyond anything that you've ever faced in Guild Wars 2 before. What do you think about that? Yeah. And how about not just the ultimate challenge, but the ultimate group challenge? Is that what you want? I'll tell you something else. I think you need real character progression that you can keep using to evolve your characters long after you're max level and long after you have the best gear in the game. What do you think? Yes. Guild Wars 2's endgame character progression. Well, now you understand why we had to go build this expansion pack. This is what Heart of Thorns is all about: deeper challenge and deeper progression. So, let's start with this. We built a comprehensive new progression system, Masteries. Masteries. All right. Now, this is conceptually simple. You're entering the jungle, and while you're there, you will master the skills and abilities that you need to succeed in the jungle. I'll give you an example. The jungle is a hugely vertical environment. It's not like anything you have ever seen or dealt with in a game before. And you need to learn the abilities that you need to traverse an environment like that. And having done that, you'll get in there, you'll meet the allied races of the jungle, you'll train with them, you'll meet new creatures, new monsters with new abilities beyond anything you've ever had to deal with before, and you will master the skills and abilities you need to dispatch them. The jungle, it's a world unto itself, and the longer you're in the jungle, the more you will master the skills of the jungle. So that's where we start. Then, we can take masteries and build on top of that new group challenges way beyond anything you've faced before, challenges that you would never be able to complete if you hadn't learned these new skills and abilities. But let's not stop there today. We're going to take that and we're going to layer on new profession specializations. Yes. You and your friends can customize your existing professions in ways that you never could before. Let's keep going. Let's layer on new guild support and new guild progression to make this the ultimate group challenge. What you're going to see is that this all comes together. So it's not a collection of features, it is a comprehensive experience that is, again, all about deeper challenge and deeper progression than you've ever seen in Guild Wars 2 before. Yeah. I'll put it simply. Heart of Thorns is our new vision for character progression in Guild Wars 2. All right, in just a minute, Colin is going to come out on stage, and he's going to tell you about all these new systems in Heart of Thorns. Before I go, I want to take a moment and offer a deep, heartfelt thanks from all of us at ArenaNet to you, the Guild Wars 2 fans. We do this for you. You know, I always say Guild Wars 2 is the game about the journey. Well, there is no one that I would rather be on this journey with than you, the Guild Wars 2 community. So thank you. Thank you. Now, Are you ready to go deeper into the heart of the Maguma jungle and learn about all the new systems in Heart of Thorns? Then please welcome the game director of Guild Wars 2, Colin Johansson.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the game director of Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns, Colin Johansson!
Thank you all for being here today, for waiting in line to come and be a part of this really exciting day. Thank you to everyone watching live on Twitch right now and joining us. I know some of you woke up early, some of you are still in your pajamas, some of you're getting ready for bed. We really appreciate you all coming to join us for this really exciting day for Guild Wars 2. I've been waiting a long time to be able to walk up here on this stage and tell all of you, I'm about to tell you every major feature of our first expansion, Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns. But before I do that, let's take a minute and just recap how we got to this point here today. So over the course of 40 Living World episodes, we've watched the living world of Tyria evolve and change. We've discovered new lands and watched as some that we love were destroyed. And through it all, we've experienced a truly living storyline and environment where the story of our game continued to progress and build. And all of those episodes were building towards this moment here today. And the final episode of Season 2, we witnessed the Durman Priory, the Vigil, the Order of Whispers, and the 5 major allied races board the packed ships as the fleet took flight to head to the jungle to hunt down, kill, and destroy the Elder Dragon Modromoth and its minions. As the fleet entered the jungle came to life. And the Sylvari race began to turn against them. They heard the call of Modromoth, and many of them joined with the dragon. And within a matter of minutes, the entire packed fleet was destroyed, torn out of the sky, and the remains of that fleet now rest across the top of the jungle. So all of us have lost our world's army. We've lost our great hope of destroying this Elder Dragon. And who's left? It's all of us here today in this room. It's all of you watching live on Twitch. Look around you. Someone sitting near you is probably going to be playing a dynamic event with you sometime soon. All of you are going into the jungle, and with one step, we go into our very first feature, the Heart of Maguma, the new area that we will get to explore in Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns. Now, as Mo said earlier, the maps in the Heart of Maguma are some of the richest, deepest content experiences that we have ever built in Guild Wars 2. The game space is tremendous, the amount of space that you can play in. And the jungle is made up of 3 distinct biomes. The core, the jungle floor itself, the roots of the jungle that run deep beneath the jungle itself, and the canopy high above, where the remains of the packed fleet are scattered across the top of the jungle. You're going to get to go and explore all of these areas, from the very depths to the very top of the jungle. And as you explore, you'll find a secret that the last known good dragon, Glint, left hidden in the jungle for us right as the story of Guild Wars 1 concluded. And now, hundreds of years later, we will go into the jungle and find that secret and find Glint's legacy. We're going to discover a lot of other things in the jungle as well. As Mo said, a big focus for us is developing really challenging content for you to overcome. So we're going to be developing new types of content experiences that you'll find in the jungle, new challenges for you and your groups and for your guild. And as we build to the point of the launch of the expansion, we'll come back and tell you about each of those in a lot more detail. You're going to find new rewards and achievements, new types of content to experience, new creatures, new civilizations. All of this awaits you inside the Heart of Maguma. Now, the Heart of Maguma is built with the same core philosophy that we applied to all of the content that we built for Guild Wars 2 from the very beginning. When you see another player, the game should be more fun. Everyone can res. Dynamic events change the world for everyone. You don't have to read quest text to decide what you're going to go do. You play in our world and are immersed in it and play along with everyone else. We think that experience is fundamentally one of the things that sets Guild Wars 2 apart. And we are taking that to the next level inside the Heart of Maguma to make that experience even richer and better. So when you see another player, the experience is that much cooler. And we know we can do that because we have you guys, the friendliest, most welcoming community in online gaming. So as we journey through the jungle, one of the things that we're going to need to do to overcome all these challenges that await us, to master the experience of the jungle, we're going to need new abilities. And so, we come to our next feature, the Mastery System. The Mastery System is an account-based PvE progression system. As you progress through the jungle, it is available to every character that you have that is level 80. You will complete content and overcome challenges in the jungle that reward you with mastery points. What are some examples? As you complete elements of the story, you'll be rewarded with mastery points. As you reach hard to find and hard to reach locations, as you defeat incredible challenges and incredible group challenges, you will be rewarded with mastery points. As you complete exploring entire maps, you are rewarded with mastery points. As you complete challenging achievements that send you on great journeys across the jungle and beyond, you will be rewarded with mastery points. And you can spend these mastery points to purchase abilities that are available for every PvE character on your account. So you don't have to go through and progress every one of your characters over and over again. You do it once. This is all part of our no grind philosophy for Guild Wars 2. So what kinds of things are the Mastery System going to let you do? What can you master within the jungle? Well, our game offers a lot of deep, rich experiences and a lot of different things that players enjoy doing. So let's talk first about exploration. So picture for me a moment that's very common in Guild Wars 2 today. You're climbing to get to the highest point in a map. And in the jungle, that's a much higher point than you have ever been before. You're jumping and you're climbing and you're looking down, and every minute you're like, oh, I'm about to fall. Nope, you keep going. You get all the way to the very top of the jungle, standing on the tip of the crashed, packed flagship. And what do we do in Guild Wars 2 when we get to the highest point in a map? Yes, we jump. And what follows is an epic journey to meet the ground, followed by a splat. And thankfully, because we have the friendliest community in online gaming, usually a swarm of players run out of nowhere. I have no idea where they come from. I'm sure you've all had that experience. And suddenly, you're rezzed and brought back in the action, because in Guild Wars 2, everyone can res. Well, in Heart of Thorns, no more. When you jump from the highest point in the map, if you have spent mastery points, you will be able to master the ability to hang glide and leisurely fly. As you spend more mastery points, you will get better at using your hang glider. You'll be able to ride gusts of wind across the map to reach hard-to-reach locations, to get higher up in the map, to find locations that you normally would never be able to get to. So hang gliding is an example of how the Mastery System will allow you to master exploration within the jungle. Let's talk next about lore. Guild Wars 2 has an incredibly deep and rich lore and history, stretching back over a decade now. And we want to give people the opportunity to master the lore of the jungle itself. And so you'll be able to spend mastery points to learn to understand the languages of the civilizations deep within the jungle. And as you learn those languages, you're going to learn the history of those civilizations, the secrets of those civilizations, and you'll even gain access to hidden locations that those civilizations have buried away, that only those who can speak and understand the language will be able to access. And that's an example of how our mastery system will allow you to master the lore of Guild Wars 2. So let's talk next about combat. Combat is a key component of the Guild Wars experience. It's action-based, it's exciting, it's cooperative. Players can put down fields and combo fields that you can come up and take advantage of. And so we want to build on that system, and we want to provide real, meaningful challenges and abilities in our mastery system to allow you to overcome those. So as you progress through the jungle, you're going to encounter new creatures, new bosses, and new types of group content that you have never seen before. And you're going to need abilities to survive against those battles, against those bosses, against that content. The mastery system will allow you to learn abilities that help you survive against, overcome, and defeat the creatures within the jungle, growing your ability to fight in combat in Guild Wars 2. Now, I'm not going to give too many details on this today. Between now and the launch of the expansion, we'll come back and tell you a lot more about the different types of abilities you'll be able to gain in combat through the mastery system. But know that this is the way that we're going to provide meaningful progression to all of your characters for PvE past level 80 within the jungle itself, and you'll be able to master combat using the mastery system. Finally, another example of something that you'll be able to master with the mastery system, something I think a lot of you love today if you're a Guild Wars 2 fan, is collecting, crafting, and building. It's a big component of Guild Wars 2. And when I think of mastering, crafting, and collecting and building, I think Legendary Weapon is the ultimate version of crafting and collecting in Guild Wars 2. So there's one component to building a legendary that is the hardest component to that experience. Can you guys tell me what you think that is? Did you say precursor? Yeah. Oh, that's it. Yes. Okay. So clearly, we need to do something about that. The mastery system will allow you to build out collections that send you on epic journeys across the world of Guild Wars 2, that once completed will reward you with precursor weapons to set you on your journey to building your legendary. I know some of you have been waiting a while to hear that one, so there you go. So on top of this, we're also going to be introducing brand new legendary weapons and brand new legendary precursors. All right, so the mastery system is a comprehensive PvE endgame progression system that builds on the pillars of Guild Wars 2. It builds on the no invalidating your hard work, on the no grind philosophy by being available to all your characters. And it complements the concept that the journey should be the goal in Guild Wars 2. As you progress through the system, the journey gets more fun instead of having to wait till you someday reach some mythical goal that everything becomes available to you. Instead, it's a system that constantly provides fun, excitement, and true meaningful progression. And you might be wondering, this system doesn't sound like it gives me skills or traits. What is Guild Wars 2 doing to give me those for my characters? Well, the answer to that question takes us to our next major feature of Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns, specializations. The specialization system will allow each profession to master a new specialization that grows that profession into something new, almost a secondary profession, if you will. So I could stop now and not tell you anything, and you guys could have to wait and find out, or I could tell you one of them. What do you think? All right. Okay, so as we go into the jungle, there is a rich druidic history within the jungle, and it is only fitting that rangers be able to learn and master the abilities of the druid within the jungle. And so, rangers will be able to grow themselves to become a druid. And when they do so, they will have available to them, they can use the staff weapon, which a ranger could never use before. Along with that, when a ranger becomes a druid, they will have access to a new heal skill, a new elite skill, a new set of utility skills, and most importantly, new profession mechanics that fundamentally change the way the ranger plays if they turn into a druid. So I'm going to tease you a little bit, because I really like to do that, with a part of one more specialization. You've all seen it before, if you've been following Living World Season 2, and you've been wondering, why does ArenaNet really like giving all these necromancers great swords? And we have greatly enjoyed watching from a distance as you all debate why it is that they all get great swords and why Marjorie was learning how to use one. And the answer is, we've known the necromancer specialization will allow necromancers to make use of the great sword weapon. So between now and the launch of the expansion, we're going to come back and tell you about each specialization available to all the professions that we didn't tell you about here today. So you're going to have to wait and ride that journey out. But we really look forward to coming back and telling you about each of them between now and the expansion's launch. We're also not going to talk about when today either. You'll just have to wait and see when it's ready. You've got your druid, and you might be thinking to yourself, I'd like to start a new character. It's time for me to start anew. Or you might be thinking, I've never played Guild Wars 2 before. And when this new expansion comes out, I want to be starting on equal footing with everybody else. I want to make a new character that no one else has had before as well. And so we sat down and we talked about what is the perfect thing that complements what we have today. And we have 3 light armored professions, and we have 3 medium armored professions. There's only 2 heavy armor professions. I feel like something's missing. There's a hole. There's a gap that needed to be filled. And so our next feature for Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns is our brand new profession, the Revenant. And you all have seen the Revenant before, whether you realized it or not. Not long ago, in Living World Season 2, Rytlock went into the mists, chasing after his incredibly powerful ancient magical sword. And since then, we've seen images of Rytlock appear wearing a blindfold, such as this, wearing a new set of armor we've never seen before. And we haven't heard back from him since. Well, when our expansion launches, Rytlock will be returning as the very first Revenant, and he will be bringing with him the abilities to channel and control the powers of the mists. In combat, the Revenant, as a heavy armored profession, will be able to use the powers of the mists to channel its abilities into its weapon, as well as into its utility, heal, and elite skills. Now, the Revenant does something a little bit different. The Revenant channels the power of great legends from Guild Wars past and uses those to help power the skills it has available to it. So let's talk about some examples. King Jalus Ironhammer, the Great Dwarf, is one of the legends that the Revenant will be able to channel. And when channeling King Jalus, the powers and abilities of the great dwarves of years past will become available to the Revenant to use in combat and change its skills. The demon Malix, buried at the heart of the Domain of Anguish, is available to the Revenant as a legend they can channel and power to control the power of conditions and use them in combat to defeat their enemies. These are just 2 examples of the legends that will be available to the Revenant. And between now and the release of the expansion, we will come back and tell you about each of the other legends and the abilities that come with them the Revenant will be able to channel to use to power its skills in combat. So you've got your Revenant, you're traveling through the jungle, you're gaining mastery points and building your characters, and you stop and think, I'm having a great time, but it's time for me to go kill another person. And please stick to just in the game. And luckily for you, Guild Wars 2 offers 2 fantastic PvP modes for you to do just that. So let's start first by talking about world versus world. So for those of you who might not be familiar with world versus world, this is our epic large-scale PvP combat. This is hundreds of players fighting in giant battles for control of towers, castles, epic keep sieges with trebuchets and catapults firing, with armies running to gates to bash them down with battering rams, and entire hordes of siege golems marching to destroy keeps and take control of them. I guarantee you, if you have never seen this experience, you have to check it out. There's really nothing else like it. It is at an epic scale of PvP. And we want to grow that experience with Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns. We want to take that concept of you being inside of an RTS game. You're a troop, you're the commander, you're a scout. You're literally experiencing what it feels like to be inside of an RTS. We want to make that even better. And so, our next major feature for Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns is our brand new world versus world Borderland map that will be added to the Borderland rotation. The new Borderland is the most diverse world versus world map that we have ever built. It is one of the largest and deepest content experiences that you will find, period, in the game. Each keep has its own distinct theme, and holding the objectives around that keep provide abilities to the world that controls it. So defending and holding your objectives will become a much more important component of Guild Wars 2's world versus world experience. For example, you can see here, this is the Earth Keep. And if you control the shrines and locations near the Earth Keep, the keep itself will literally raise up parts of the ground to defend itself when enemy armies assault. If you control the Fire Keep, magma pools will come available for your entire army to leap into and traverse through the map more quickly as they can jump between lava pools. Now, holding these objectives provides you with these abilities for your world, but we don't want to stop there and just give that concept to our new Borderland map. We want to fundamentally change the way that world versus world works so that when you battle so hard to take control of a major objective, if you fight for an hour to take Stone Mist Castle, keeping it should be important. Holding that objective should be a bigger part of victory in world versus world. So we're going to be making changes to the core world versus world experience. So holding objectives is a bigger part of victory across the board in all components of world versus world. So Guild Wars 2 has a second major component of PvP, and that is our competitive PvP. This is small teams, typically 5-on-5, highly organized, competing against one another to prove who are the best players and best teams in the world. And we've had a lot of recent success with our competitive PvP mode. We recently held our first ever World Tournament Series Championship live in Beijing. It was broadcast live on television in China and broadcast globally on Twitch for everyone to watch and enjoy. Despite the successes of competitive PvP, we feel like there's a lot of room for that to grow and become even more exciting. And so, we're going to be introducing to competitive PvP a brand new game mode called Stronghold. Now, Stronghold may sound a little familiar to some of you going back to the days of the original Guild Wars. It may sound a little bit like an evolution, maybe, of something that you once experienced. So what do you do in a Stronghold map? Well, you and your team fight for control of supply. You spend supply to hire troops, and you and the troops that you hire assault the enemy stronghold. You destroy the gates to battle inside their stronghold. You find their guild lord. You kill their guild lord to win. Along the way, you're going to find heroes that you can win onto your side that join you and join the assault on the enemy stronghold to help you win and destroy their guild lord. So we feel like if we're gonna give you this experience, this next step in what people might remember from the original Guild Wars, there's another component that needs to come along with this game mode to provide the entire experience. And that's the ability to know which guild is the best at PvP in the world. So when you battle in our brand new Stronghold game mode, you're gonna be able to form guild teams. Guild teams are teams of players that represent a specific guild, and they register on a guild leaderboard. And as they battle against one another, the guild teams move up the leaderboard so you can once and for all prove who are the best guilds in the world. All right, so that's a component for guilds and PvP, but guilds make up such a core backbone of the entire Guild Wars 2 community. You know, when we talk about having the friendliest community in online gaming, a big component of that is because we have the friendliest guilds, the best guilds in online gaming that you'll ever find. And so we want to grow and add to that guild experience as part of Heart of Thorns. And that takes us to our final major feature of Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns. I think you've all been waiting a long time to hear this one. Guild halls. So what is a guild hall in Guild Wars 2? It seems like you guys might like that one a little bit. A guild hall in Guild Wars 2 is much more than what it's been in the past. A guild hall is not just a home for your guild. It's a place for you and your friends to gather, to organize, to host events. It's a guild place for you to build and progress your guild and to build and progress your guild hall. As you build out your guild hall, you and your guild members will be able to go on great adventures. You can organize to prepare for your guild missions and to go into the jungle to face the incredible new challenges that await you. These guild halls provide you with a home base for you to build and grow your guild for years to come and a core hub for your social community. And so in total, our new region, the Heart of Maguma, our new progression system, the Mastery system, our new specialization system, opening every profession up a new way to grow and progress their profession, our new profession, the Revenant, our new world versus world borderland and fundamental changes to world versus world, our new PvP game mode, Stronghold, and guild teams so that you can compete and prove who are the best guilds in the world, and finally, guild halls make up a comprehensive package that is our reimagining of where Guild Wars 2 can go in the future. All of these features make up a core experience that provides a deep, compelling growth to the world of Guild Wars 2. It answers fundamental questions of where Guild Wars 2 can go in the future and builds back to the core philosophy that we set out when we started to build Guild Wars 2 long ago. That is that the journey should be the goal, and each of these features complements that. We cannot wait to take that journey with all of you. I want to say a huge thank you to every single one of you for being here today, for being a part of this. Thank you again to everyone watching live on stream. I know you now have more questions, hundreds of questions that you would like to ask. And between now and the launch of the expansion, we're going to give you all the details to all the questions that you could ever want to know. So Jennifer is going to come back out here in just a moment, and she's going to walk you guys back through where to go next to find out more about Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns, Thank you all again so much, and we'll see you in game.
Right? Amazing. Amazing. Right? Let's hear it for Colin. Man, that was a lot of information. I think Mo and Colin deserve the loudest boomstick you've got. Woo! Yes. Well, that about does it for our presentation, everybody. Oh, but wait, there's always more. If you want to relive anything you saw or heard today, point your browsers to heartofthorns.guildwars2.com. That badass trailer for Heart of Thorns is up there right now, as well as plenty of HOT goodies. Also, we're big fans of the social media conversation. I mean, come on, we're trending on Reddit this morning. So don't forget to hashtag GW2HOT so we can all stay in the loop. And thank you. Thank you so much for spending your morning with us, or if you're on the other side of the globe, your afternoon or evening. And for those of you who are interested in a photo op, I'll be available for pics in the Q Hall past registration until like noon. So thank you so much, and I'm going to give the steering wheel over to our shoutcasters currently standing by on the live stream. Now, but before I do, would you like to watch that trailer one more time? Oh, come on! Yes! Here you are! Thank you so much!
The journey of the hero is filled with trials. Trials of courage. Trials of loss. Trials of war. Each forging the hero in the fires of resolve, wisdom, and strength, propelling them into the unknown. This journey never ends. The hero's journey is to become legend.